Hey everybody, it's Dayna from K-Fog. I'm here at Outside Lands with the Lumineers. Hi guys.
Hello.
How was Japan?
It was pretty wild. We love going to Japan. We played this festival called Fuji Rock.
Yeah.
It's no longer at Mount Fuji, but it's still in a beautiful mountain. It's so different than any other festival. It's just very foreign and different, and we love going to Japan.
Yeah, it's a little unnerving because in between songs, people are so quiet and respectful that you think maybe they're hating it or something.
Right. It's a different world. They are really respectful there. Yeah. I saw you guys went to a knife store. I saw that on was it Instagram or Twitter where you guys had the knives and the knife store. Did you buy any?
I think every time that we've gone there, we've all come back. I think we each have like 6 knives or something.
That's
Maybe probably
crazy,
more, to be honest.
Because they've got amazing knives there. My dad used to tour in Tokyo, and he would bring back knives. And I was wondering how he got them home.
They can inscribe like names and stuff and translate stuff, and you put them in your check bag.
Oh, really? You didn't have to ship them?
Yeah, I mean, just don't
carry on.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, that would be a bad idea. But
it's cool keepsakes. I mean, I think I use mine once a day at least, like for vegetables when we're home, of course.
Right.
But,
they've got serious, awesome like culinary knives and stuff.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Did you go to any places in Japan that were cool? Like any crazy cafes that have like raccoons at them or anything?
Yeah. I think you guys went to an Armadillo, or
I wasn't with them. I think some of the band went to Hedgehog
Cafe. My wife and kid went to the Hedgehog
baby
Cafe
hedgehogs
too.
and
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, you
That's what's killing me. I want to go back so badly just for that.
Yeah, they went to an owl
cafe
cafe where you get to like pet owls, and then there was a silent cafe where you listen to classical music and you can't really talk other than to make your order for the coffee.
That sounds amazing.
Jared, you went to Hiroshima.
Yeah, which was a different vibe.
Right. Yeah, I went to Peace Park as a kid too.
It was really
shocking.
Really shocking, and really. It was really intense being inside the museum because I think we're both kind of new fathers, and there's a lot of
kids
details about kids.
Yeah.
And it brought tears to my eyes being in the museum because it was so. It was very intense, but very beautiful experience, and I was glad to go, but very shocking. Yeah.
I was in Kyoto at the time. He went there. I went to Kyoto, and it was my kid took his first steps when we got to the hotel in Kyoto.
No way.
His first steps were in Kyoto. It was really cool. And,
that's beautiful.
So we were joking because Jared's wife's from Italy, so his son's first steps were in Italy. So if we told
that's so cool.
If you told us like 10 years ago that we would have kids one day and their first steps would be in these countries, our minds, I think, would be totally blown.
Yeah, I think I'd ask, what are we doing okay?
Do we join the Navy?
What's our job?
Why are we there?
Yeah,
are we hiding from someone?
Yeah, so it's kind of wild.
Well, that's one thing about you guys is every time I've seen you guys, it's been at like a rather large venue, I mean, not quite festival, but huge. And I'll be watching the show and it feels kind of like I'm in somebody's backyard, or it's a private show with best friends, it's like a private performance. And then I turn and it's like, oh my God, this place is huge and there's a ton of people here. How do you keep the vibe so intimate in like a huge place like this?
Well, we did. I mean, we started playing clubs like we played Amnesia a number of times.
Yeah, the dive bar.
Played the
Valencia.
Bottom of the Hill.
Yeah.
And then what was the other? Cafe du Nord. That was starting
Very
to get
small.
things were
That's
starting to get
place.
bigger. So I think all that, we really enjoyed the intimacy of it, and we also played house shows. I don't know if we played any in San Francisco. We did that one bar with no microphones.
What was the name of that?
I can't even remember. But I think that taught us to value that intimacy, and then when we got to bigger venues, we kind of wanted to recapture that or find a way to get there. It was kind of like, I want that feeling wherever we are, and so you just try to make it feel intimate even in the biggest places. And seeing that with some of my favorite, like going to see Pearl Jam as a kid and thinking I was front row when I was all the way to the nosebleeds, or Bruce Springsteen or something. It's like all those artists make you feel like you're the only one in the crowd, and I don't know how they do that, but that's something I think we strive to do.
Well, that's what you guys do. That's what I was wondering. It's kind of an art form as to how you do that. It doesn't seem, you're not screaming at the audience. It's just like you're just talking to one person.
Thank you.
I think it's an art form.
It's a huge compliment. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's the truth. So your album comes out September 13th. I want to talk about Gloria, but without crying, which is going to be hard. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. I'm coming up on 4 years. And the first time I heard Gloria, I was like, oh, this is a great song. I like it. And then once I started listening to the lyrics, it really, really got to me. Kind of on the level of, now that I've got a few years under my belt, I'm going through it with other people. Other people are putting me through kind of what I put my family through. I've lost a couple friends who went back out and relapsed. And then it was also what I did to my family, and like, you know, how tragic it is to love somebody who doesn't want to live, kind of, you know? And I just want to talk about that song. I'm so glad I'm so glad that you guys are talking to me. I'm really honored, but I really want to talk about that song. I know that I've heard you say recently in an interview that you know that like addiction is an illness now, and not a moral issue or
like a
willpower.
Yeah,
right. Or a willpower thing. And how did Gloria come to be? Who is she besides me?
Well, I mean, I think we made this record, and typically we'll work on the music together, and then the lyrics. I mean, typically, not every time, but typically I'm writing, and so I came to Jer, and there was something going on kind of in my family, and I wanted to sing about this person in my life, but I needed to give that person a disguise because we were going to talk about things that it felt like unfair to just name names. You know, I'm not like Eminem where I'm like, I'm going to kill my
Right.
mom, you know?
Yeah.
I admired that he was that raw about it, but for me it felt just more I guess appropriate to me. Like it felt like it fit more to tell a story around this, and if you tell the truth within the story, I think it has this ripple effect. And so I mean, it got us to talking because Jer's dealt with it in his own family, but I think it's basically like it's a song about this idea that, and maybe you can speak to this, but the tragedy is that everyone loves you going through that so much that they go through it with you whether they like it or not, and they can't really turn that switch off. So it's beautiful, and it's also really tragic. Like how strong a family is, or that love is like a big part of this story, ironically. Even though it's a really upsetting, you know, you watch the video, it can be kind of like graphic, but this is based on stuff that I've been around and I've seen, and I think Jer has seen in his own way, and I think it's opened up a dialogue even between me and Jer about stuff that we really never talked about, and I think I'm proud of that because the way the album was going, I was almost like apologizing, like I'm sorry that this keeps coming up. It's like a diary, and I just keep writing about the same thing, you know. And I'm sort of like relieved and glad that we did it and we went with it because we kind of felt like it was too raw or too negative at first, you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you went with it too, because I didn't feel that way at all. It was kind of cathartic for me to go through it again and to hear it, and you know, in a beautiful way. And I feel like there was love. I felt love for her, you know, because I relate to her, and it's tragic, and I know it's not a choice that she has. It's just very sad. But yeah, I feel like it's like kind of a way to like, it's kind of like a way to go through your emotions just when you're listening to the music. By hearing the pain and hearing like what I put other people through and stuff like that. And it's like, for me, like amends is kind of an ongoing process that I always have to do. Like I have to do a living amends, and you know, it's like even at this festival, you know, like I said, I'm coming up on 4 years. This festival's like over 10 years old. I've been here not sober many times, and every year I run into people and I just feel like going, sorry. I don't really remember, but sorry.
Yeah. I think there's like, the more I've learned about it, I think there's so much shame involved
so
in
much
it
shame.
that it's really hard to appreciate that. It's like if you've had your worst night out and you said things you regretted, then compound that by 10. That's how someone feels, and then it makes them maybe want to drink more.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, the whole thing has been humbling to have people open up to you about something that you thought it was like. Bad things are like, can be like good things, where you can fall in love and you think you're the only one. You get your heart broken, you think you're the first person ever to get your heart broken.
Right.
You're an addict, you think you're the only addict. It's like there's a lot of people out there that unfortunately are either loving an addict or going through it themselves. And so I think I think we've talked about, like, it's pretty far reaching, more than we kind of accounted for, because no one really talks about it. Like, even talking in interviews, this is a relatively new, I don't think that many people wanted to go there. It was just a taboo subject, you know?
Yeah, it is. Like I started doing a podcast right after I got sober, specifically just for people in recovery, just kind of chronicling what I'm going through and how I do it day by day, and how sometimes I don't want to do it, you know, and how sometimes it gets really hard and I almost relapse. But yeah, I feel like taking the stigma out of it and talking about it, and then having music like this, I just think it's helpful for all of us.
Yeah, that's what we hope. Yeah.
Especially for us addicts and alcoholics and the people who love us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's if you realize that people haven't given up on you, I think that's the most like beautiful and sad thing about it.
So sad.
So,
yeah.
I mean, families just tend to stick together, and that's a big part of it. As sad as elements of it are, I think it has this balance to it. That's why you care about for me, when I watch the videos, I cared about the characters because they weren't just like one. It wasn't one shade of this color or that. It was like a full person,
Right.
The director did a really good job with it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful video. It really is. Well, I got the wrap-up sign, but thank you guys for talking to me. This was great. I'm so glad I got to
Thanks
actually
for sharing
talk
your
to you
story
about-
with us. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.